5-star copies all. Go ahead. Message to observer. Alpha 3 rounds. AT delay in effect. 3 guns. Bravo 2 rounds. 2 guns. Smoke on effect.
Hey crew, thanks for watching this video. This is Options Millionaire, and I wanted to make this video to go over one of my monster trades this past week, the 52% win on May 20th, 2021. We had a strong trend day that started all from mid pre-market and went all the way until the late morning, early afternoon. I had a lot of people ask me to make this video based on what I saw in the market to figure out how I actually entered that position, and not only that, how do I held that position throughout the day to identify a trend day. To me, it was very much indicative of a trend day early on. I was predicting that coming into the pre-market based on what we had. The market was bright green, and before I start getting into the trade, I'll set up the market, just right now, so you can kind of feel how I was feeling at the time. Market was bright green, FANG was bright green, the VIX was starting to dip, and then SPY spiked. As you can see here, this is the pre-market hours. SPY spiked into the open. So first indication that we're going to have a trend day is we have a large spike into the pre-market, a very egregious spike, and we form new highs in the pre-market hours. So that's one indication. Then, having said that, we're going to get into it here, and I'm going to identify key points in the market that outside of SPY that help me kind of identify what's going on here. So you can kind of see here, the squeeze momentum was starting to dip off right at the pre-market, and then the EMAs were all separated, which is this is very bullish. This may start lead to bearish thoughts, but you got to take everything as it comes. And we're on the 3-minute SPY chart, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the speed a little bit down, and I'm going to hit play here and see what goes on. Yep, I'm going to speed that up just a little bit. All right, so right off the gate, we have this big bullish action, big candles. I'm like, okay. Well, my first thoughts here is I don't want to buy a call early, and then we have a big sell-off and profit taken, and I get smoked. All right, so I'm going to close this watch list because that is not indicative of what we had. That's current prices, which is Saturday, so I ain't going to do it. So right now, the bonds were dipping hard. TLT were dipping hard. The financial sector did dip a little bit here, and the VIX was way down. So the big thing for me is that VIX being way down. That's going to bring a lot of bullish action into it. You could look at SPY starting to grind up. QQQ was absolutely raging all day. Like, I think there wasn't even a red candle until an hour in. It was just up. FANG was heavy green all morning. I'm talking 1.5, 1.6% all day. So very bullish day. So I'm looking to take calls. I don't even think I'm thinking about puts at this point. I don't even have them look at my watch list. So I'm going to delete this line for the purpose of this. So y'all know what the strategy is. Once you hit 905 is when you form your lines. And because from opening to 905 is our strategy to form our range lines. And here we are right at the 903 area. And I happen to take the call I took that day right at the range forming. That's the ray. I don't want the ray. I want the horizontal line. Here we go. Okay, right there. And then you also form the low, which in this case is right at the open. So we're going to take that. We're going to form it right at the low, right here. Cool. All right, and I took this position right at the range on this one. The reason why I did that is because QQQ was absolutely raging. It just wouldn't stop. I saw there was a bounce in XLF because XLF did dip a little bit, and I saw a big bounce in XLF. I thought with the power between QQQ jumping and XLF jumping that it was going to carry SPY up. So I went ahead and took position right here. It was right when it touched the top of the range, and that ended that position at $1.73. And those were the May 24th, 4:15 calls. I took them right there. So I was in at 173, and I was really watching the market here. I know Q was gonna rage everything up. It was gonna carry SPY up, and all the things were really going up. So I had high confidence that this position was going to continue. So we did get a rejection off that top range, so I entered that position a little early. I remember saying that, and then we were bouncing right at the top of the range. And then I started getting a little shaky here because, like, all right, are we going to get a big profit taking here before we actually puncture through? So I was still holding my position. I think at one point I was only down 3 or 4%, not much. It was bouncing forth between green and red. The position was right there at break even. But what gave me high confidence here, what soothed my thoughts, is that we were sticking to the top of this range. With all the bullish action, all the green in the market, with XLF rebounding, with the bonds tanking, with everything going really green, that I knew this price was going to stick right here at the top of the range. So I had high confidence there going forward, and then with this thing was sticking top of the range, and all I was waiting to do is pop the top of this morning range under volume with aggression. And that was going to be the big indication that this was going to be a trend day. Once you pop the morning trends, if you have new pre-market highs and then you pop the top of that morning range, it's a pretty good indication it's going to be a trend day. So we'll see what happens here. And here we go. We finally get the big pop. Our position immediately went green. We stuck to the top of the range. We had this tight range, tightening up against the range, and boom, we pop above it. And then we're off to the races. Now, my second indication I'm looking for on trend days is that people are asking me, okay, how do you identify, I understand your entry, how do you identify the trend day and hold this for so long? Well, you have to realize that one of the observations I've always made on trend days is that the SPY price action loves the 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart. So I was constantly flipping back to the 5-minute chart to watch the price action bounce off the 5 EMA or the 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart. And all I kept doing was watching. If I saw this thing break down below the 8, I was going to exit the position, or at least look to exit the position. And if it did break through the 8 EMA, the 21 EMA was the next stop. However, in this case, the 21 was a pretty good ways under it, and that would have been a little bit too aggressive a sell-off. If I saw this thing come back down and touch the 21, I probably would have exited the position. But on trend days, the price action loves to bounce off the 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart. So if you're considering that, please go to the 5-minute and watch this thing. So finally, QQQ started raging, but then started leveling off right at this point, and the XLF as well. So when I came back to this chart and I saw the first candle and then I saw this thing go exponential, is when I exited this position. And I exited at $2.63 a piece, which averaged out to, which came out to a 52% gain after all this exponential growth here. Luckily, it was a very, very good exit because I think it went up a little bit more, but then it leveled off and actually declined a little bit there, and I would give him back some profits. So it's a fantastic entry. It was a fantastic exit. All I did was use the things that I've learned with SPY's price action. I didn't even look at really the squeeze momentum or my other normal indicators because things were so strong based on what I had. I didn't even need to. The market was telling me this was going up. The bonds, the XLF, the VIX was being so low. The market, the FANG was bright green. QQQ was so strong, it was carrying the market with it. And then on the 5-minute, I was just watching. And of course, that was a very fast timeline. I had it very fast. So we just went over, 2 hours here. But I don't want to waste all your time. So just watching the price action bounce off of the 8 EMA as a very telling sign as a trend day. And then once we pop the new highs of the morning range, also a big sign of a trend day. So those two things combined, I had high confidence to hold this position from here all the way up to here. That's a 52% gain, a lot of money made between me and a lot of people in the Discord. So I was really happy with that. A lot of people made a lot of money. So anyway, that's all I got for y'all. If you are new to the channel, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, because I got a lot of review videos like this one and educational videos coming out very soon in the month of May and March. If you haven't joined the Discord, please go in the Discord and join that channel. We've got a lot of cool resources that's going to help you become a better trader. You can also follow us on Instagram with options.millionaire. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you learned a little something about how to hold on a trend day, because that's where you make the big bucks. You can fight through the chop and scalp and make a 5-10% here and there, but the trend days is where you make the big bucks. So if you can learn how to identify to stay in a trend, enter and stay in a trend, you'll put yourself ahead. So I'm Options Millionaire. Thank y'all for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See ya.